Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at the chart for Mathew Perry, who is an actor on the famous long time uh, sitcom Friends. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born using sidereal Vedic zodiac, you would see the constellation of Cancer rising at 17 degrees and 15 minutes. This rising sign degree becomes the most effective point of every house, and any planets like Jupiter, like Moon, like Saturn, like Mars, that are within 5 degrees of that rising sign degree have a lot of impact in the chart. Now, first, we're going to look and see how the planets are operating, and then we'll see when they're operating during certain events in his life and what we could do to strengthen the chart. So, first, we want to see if there are any Multikona signs in the 6th, 8th, or the 12th Dustana challenging houses. And we see that we have Jupiter. Sagittarius, the ninth sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter in the 6th house of conflict. We have the 11th sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn in the 8th house of challenges and obstacles and addictions. And so we have Jupiter, Saturn, along with Rahu and Ketu, are the functional malefic or challenge. They can be challenging in the chart, and as well as the transit, the birth chart, as well as the transit chart. So first, let's look and see where the Multikona signs are, and wherever they fall, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. That indicates what he came here to work on in this lifetime. Those are his karmas. So we have the first sign of Aries in the career house, very much focused on being successful in his career. In fact, Mars is really the key to his success. It's the strongest planet in his chart. Then we have Moon, Cancer, the fourth sign of Cancer, ruled by Moon in the first house, giving good, strong life purpose, what he came here to do. Then we have the fifth sign of Leo, ruled by Sun in the 2nd house, wealth and fame, learning about that, worthy of being wealthy, worthy of having good fame. Then we have the 6th sign of Virgo, ruled by Mercury in the 3rd house, worthy of being successful. Then we have the 7th sign of Libra, ruled by Venus in the house of happiness, worthy of finding happiness and having a good family life. And then we have the 9th sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. Remember, we said that's functional malefic. So he's learning about conflict, learning about delays, setbacks, health issues, addictions. And then we have the 11th sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. Again, learning about addictions and the deeper subconscious parts of himself. So those are the keys to what his karmas. And now let's look at the planets individually. So first off, Sun, the Multikona sign, we give preference to the Multikona signs. So the 5th sign of Leo, ruled by Sun, ruling the house of wealth and fame. So wealth and fame comes through his leadership abilities. Now, Sun is a little bit weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees is said to be in infant state and cannot protect or promote its own significations. So there are some delays in success in his wealth and fame, and ups and downs to that as well. And it's afflicted by Jupiter as well. Let's see, how's that now? Now, not afflicted by Jupiter. Excuse me. It gives him leading roles and the ability to have leading roles. And his dad and mom got divorced, so his dad left early in his life. Son, it represents father. And then we have Moon, which is uh, ruling that first house of life, purpose, health, and personality. And it's placed in the house of happiness. And so, it's that house that it's placed in is ruled by Venus, and Venus is poorly placed in the 12th house. So the dispositor of the moon is weak, and moon can't be any stronger than its landlord or its dispositor, the house that it sits in, and that that house's ruler. So this affects his happiness. Definitely makes him very sensitive. Gives him wanting to be in front of the public. Moon is all about the public, so public performance. But this sensitivity and this moon is mind and emotions, and because it's somewhat weak, this can lead to some addictions. Then we have Mars is at 18 degrees, which is close to the most effective point. And again, this is his strongest planet. This gives him a lot of ambition and drive and passion. And it's sitting in the house of entertainment. So connects his career with entertainment. Then we have Mercury, which is afflicted by K2, and it is ruling the house of entrepreneurial or success in performing arts. So connects his uh, his communication skills to performing arts and wealth in his life. Now it is afflicted. This so there can be some ups and downs to his success. And it afflicts his relationships as well, because this house is not only wealth and fame, but continuation of very like marriage type relationships. So he's had a few relationships, but none of them lasted. Then we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is ruling this house of health and addiction type things, inner conflict, and sitting in the house of success. And we already said that Mercury is weak and afflicted. So Jupiter becomes, not only is it weak and a functional malefic, but it is its dispositor is weak, so it can't be any stronger than its dispositor. So this brings some inner conflict, mental disturbance. He did a lot of AA charity work and actually started a sober living house in one of his mansions. So that's helping to balance that in his life. Weak Venus is at 25 degrees. It rules this house of happiness, and it's sitting in the house of separation, feeling like I don't belong or fit in. So this also, and there's surgery and depression that can come with all of that. So, but it does give him ability to take on these roles as an actor. So he's using that Venus. Venus is also um, performing for the public, or so he's using that to his advantage. Then we have functional malefic Saturn. So Saturn is ruling this house of obstacles and research, and it's sitting in his career house. So this gives him the ability to be disciplined and research the roles that he's playing for his career in acting. But it also comes with some addictions and accidents, which he's had plenty. He's spent about $9 million on trying to become sober. And then you have functional malefic Rahu and Ketu at 27 degrees. And that Rahu gives the desire to take on these different roles and research these different acting parts. And Ketu gives this wanting to control his relationships, his wealth and fame, and they're always trying to balance each other. Here we have inner research into the subconscious, and then wanting this wealth and fame. So they're kind of balancing each other. So let's look at the timing of events. He moved to LA in '84 during a Venus period. Venus is basically relocation, a Venus period. Then we have in '94, he's started Friend, the very famous show that he was in for many, many years called Friends. And that was a Mercury period, so success in the career. '97, he had a jet ski accident and went into rehab. Also made Fools Rush In, which is one of my very favorite movies. It's a very, very great movie, I think. During a Saturn period, Saturn again is this chronic addiction, basically, and vulnerabilities in the subconscious. Then we have in 2000, he had an accident. I think it was a car accident. Also ended up being hospitalized for pancreatitis. Also during a Saturn period. 2001, he went into rehab. Also during a Saturn period, which is this again chronic addiction. 2004, Friends ended. So that was the end of the long-term sitcom during the tail end of that Saturn period. In 2018 was pretty much of a turning point. Somewhere around this period of time, September, August, he was hospitalized. They did surgery on a perforated colon, and he actually went into a coma. And this was all from opioid addiction. So this is during a Sun Jupiter period. Again, health is affected, and a weak Sun, which would affect the stomach and the digestion tract. Sun representing digestion, and then and you can see that this is a transit chart. The outer circle is where the planets were around that time, and the inner circle is where the birth planets were, just kind of like this chart in a circular form. So you can see that Ketu is afflicting Mars, which is his career, and Rahu is afflicting Sun, which is that digestion and the health. So that was kind of going on at that time. And then more recently, he's had about a year of sobriety, and he wrote a book called Friends and Lovers during a Mercury period. Mercury is writing and publishing. Yeah, a very interesting chart. What could we do to strengthen this chart? Well, he's already doing charity work for drug abuse. Got some awards for that. So that's helping with the Rahu, transforming Rahu and Ketu, as well as Saturn and Jupiter. But the other planets, except for Mars, all need some strengthening, and this would really help with his addiction and his career and his overall health. So let's see here. So he could wear the colors, the yellow sapphire, green emerald, ruby, diamond, um, and a red coral, or my favorite remedy, which is a kavash, which is a silver locket containing the Devata yantras for those planets. Um, so thank you so much for listening. Join us again next week as we take a look at some other celebrities' chart. Matthew Perry's been in the news recently at a New York Times article on addiction, and so he's trying to help other people. That's wonderful. Um, and we wish him the best in his journey to sobriety. Uh, so if you're interested in getting a reading, you can go to www.vastucreations.com. Please ring the bell and join the YouTube channel Vastu Creations if you want to get these weekly videos. And if you'd like to learn how to be an astrologer or just learn transformation Vedic astrology, as you can see, it's quite accurate. You can also look at under courses at vastucreations.com.